I feel like we've been talking about American Gold Eagles a lot, but I don't feel like we've been talking about whether or not they are worth the extra cost. If you've seen more than a few of my videos, you know that I have a strong preference for specific gold coins. In the United States, it's the American Gold Eagles followed by the Gold Buffaloes. So it doesn't have a whole lot to do with the way they look. It's just that they are the easiest to sell, and they also get the highest premium back in a sale to dealers. But right now, the buy to sell spread on an Eagle makes absolutely no sense. It might even be getting worse as the Mint prepares for the cutover to the new Type 2 design change that's coming this summer. An American Gold Eagle costs about $1,900 right now, and that's almost if you're lucky. Buffalo is about the same, and we're talking about a spot price of $1,720. The price, of course, varies, but that's based on the means and medians of about 12 different sources. At the same time, a Canadian maple leaf is about $1,840. Krugerrands and Philharmonics are about $1,810, and then Britannias and Kangaroos are about $1,800. And if I'm rattling off numbers too quickly, that's about a $100 difference between the Eagles and the Buffaloes on the high end and the Britannias and the Kangaroos at the low end. So if you're just looking at prices, it really doesn't make a lot of sense to buy US Mint coins right now. Now, I told you I picked up a half-ounce American Gold Eagle a few weeks back, and the price on that coin was about the same as anything else that was available. So since I'm already stacking that particular coin, and since it's the easiest to sell, and since I got it at the same price as most foreign mint coins, it made sense. But most of the places that I look have it priced way higher than that right now. Now, I did also find a 1-ounce American Gold Eagle this week, and that was using a local broker. And I got it for about 5% premium, making it somewhere around $1,800. I believe it was $1,810 exactly. So that, of course, worked out really well for me. I mean, it's a coin that I normally want, but this one actually is a 2021 Type 1 design. I was looking for that, and the price beat anything I could find from a foreign mint. It was about 5%. I've seen Britannias off and on for 5%, but that's hit or miss. You're also dealing then with handling delays, you're dealing with shipping delays, and if you're an impatient person, and some of us are, you're dealing with credit card fees. I got lucky. I mean, this coin is $1,900 at a minimum right now. Locally, the shops are still asking more than $2,000 for them. It's like they haven't even looked at spot price. This is a $2,025 coin. But even if we just look at the $1,900 mark, the standard price on a 1-ounce Eagle right now is $100 more than a Britannia or Kangaroo. So that is an additional 5%. And I'm seeing the same on fractionals. I don't have the exact numbers, but it's actually a little bit more than that. The spread is actually greater than that on Eagles to Kangaroos. And the buyback on a 1-ounce Gold Eagle at a local shop, or if I look online, is about $25. Now, if it's a brand new current year coin, it's $35. That's for an Eagle or a Buffalo. And hypothetically, I suppose I can negotiate that higher since the demand is so high right now, but that's the standard. You can call AppMex or SD Bullion. They'll offer the same. I did call them and they told me that same thing. $25 over spot for a random year, I guess they'd call it, or $35 for the current year. Again, that's Eagles and Buffaloes. Now, if you offered a Canadian maple leaf, current year, $10 over spot. Same with my local dealers. If it's a random year, spot. So again, if you're looking to sell these back, you'll get an extra $25 back for the Eagle or Buffalo. Now, Krugerrands, Philharmonics, Britannias, and Kangaroos, you'll get spot if you sell them back to SD Bullion or AppMex. And I'll get spot right now if I sell them back to a local dealer. Now, in other times, it's a little bit less than that. But that's regardless of year, and it does assume that they're in good condition. Anything else you can think of that would be from these primary mints like Lunar Series coins, Queen's Beast Series coins, Swans, or other commemoratives, they're all the same. Right now, the buyback price is spot. Basically, if it's popular and it's in good condition, you'll get spot. So again, Eagles and Buffaloes, $25 to $35 more than just about anything else. All right, so just breaking down the math for a second, buying a coin for $100 more when you can only sell it back for $25 more does not make a lot of sense. Now normally, or historically, however you want to look at this, the buy to sell spread on an Eagle or Buffalo is about $20 higher than a Canadian Maple Leaf, and then call it $40 higher than anything else. And I will pay $20 or even $40 more for a 1 ounce Eagle or Buffalo simply because they're in higher demand locally. I can sell to more people privately, and you'll find that anywhere you live, since more people are going to be familiar with the local coins. And then just honestly, it's going to be a lot easier for my kids to know what they're looking at someday as well if they go to sell them. Now, if you've never sold more than a coin or two in a single transaction, the benefit of having the most popular coin to sell, it just might not seem like a big deal. I have sold old European coins locally though. I've also sold them online. Locally, dealers declined to buy them. And then online, I had to sell them one at a time. It was a pain. I think it's just important to consider what it might be like selling in a down cycle. It is not like today where anything shiny will sell immediately. Now, if you have experience selling gold, you know what you're doing, you're not going to have much trouble. Again, assuming that you're talking about modern bullion. And if you're dealing with old European coins or something similar, you're going to be able to find a way to move those too. It might not be as easy as you want it to be, but you'll figure it out somehow. Now, if you're like me though, and you expect to hand down as much of this stuff as you can, it's going to be someone else's problem. Someone else is going to be dealing with that sale. And for me personally, again, I want it to be as easy as possible. All right, so back to the buy-sell spread. Britannias and Kangaroos cost 5% less than Eagles and Buffaloes right now. Maple Leafs, Krugerrands, Philharmonics, they're about 4% less. And dealers will currently buy all of those coins back for about 2% less than the Eagles and Buffaloes. So to do that math, in the case of a Britannia or a Kangaroo, you'd be saving about $65 for each 1 ounce coin you buy if you consider its eventual sale. And then fractionals, again, they have a similar spread. They're actually a little bit more exaggerated version of that. So the long story short here is that it makes some sense to buy the cheaper coins. And I'm not saying go for the LMUs or Ducats or some kind of old gold that you just found a deal on. I actually think the best option tends to be somewhere in the middle. And Britannias and Kangaroos are well known and cheap. So that's what has my attention right now. If I can find a deal like I got on this American Gold Eagle or find a Buffalo at a reasonable price, that's going to be my first choice. And then if not, I'll look at Britannias and maybe Kangaroos. And I prefer the Britannias primarily because I already have one. I'd just be getting more of it. It makes it easier. It makes it more organized. But then at some point, I just simply won't buy anything because this current disconnect between spot and final price, it is not normal. And I expect it to kind of calm down before too long. Paying 11 to 16% premium on a 1 ounce coin, that's just really throwing away money. And I've said this before too. I've thrown away money on worse things before, but I just don't think there's any real reason to rush right now. The big thing to consider here, of course, is that everybody's different. If you plan to pick up a few ounces and you don't expect to need to sell it in any kind of hurry, then you know what, just get what you like. But if you expect to buy to the point where you end up with 100 ounces, you're going to want some uniformity and you're going to want the kind of coins that are the easiest to sell. I guarantee it. Personally, I have a bunch of these Eagles. I have a fair amount of these Buffaloes. And then I just kind of have everything else. And the everything else pile is potentially the most interesting. But I know it's going to take me more to move these if I want to get what they're worth. These other coins here, these Eagles and Buffaloes, I don't even have to think about them. I've sold them in bulk in the past and it just couldn't be easier. So because of that, what I do personally is if I can't find my first choice at a decent price, I'll try to match up what I already have. I'll grab more Maple Leafs, I'll grab more Britannias. Anything other than that is just kind of me leaning into the mess. Buying random deals just means that sometime down the road, I'm not going to have any leverage in a negotiation if I want to sell them. If you're just trying to find something right now for a reasonable price, everything I've mentioned will be immediately recognized. Any of the modern bullion options that I've mentioned, they're going to be recognized by local or online dealers. You'll be able to call around and easily get quotes if you ever need to sell. Now, bars are a little bit harder. They take more to verify. Private buyers will be a little bit more skeptical. And then those old gold coins that I mentioned, well, they take a little bit more work as well. In my experience, the local dealers will only take what they think they can quickly sell. So you're limiting who will buy them back. So it's all a little bit of a give and take situation. Now, I found this one at 5% premium, but I had looked at a dozen places, a dozen different times just to find one. Honestly, I don't find these as interesting as some of the gold coins that I have, but I know that they're going to make me as organized as possible. They're going to make it easier on my future self or my kids in the event of a sale. Just something to consider. And I'm going to give you one other thing to consider with Eagles because we're on the verge of a design change. Now, I'm personally excited for the update, but in addition to the expected security features, I'm wondering if we're going to see a uniquely identifiable mark on the new gold Eagles. That might sound crazy, but Canadian maple leafs have had a unique bullion DNA laser engraving that's cataloged in a database. And that's a little bit like a serial number on a dollar bill. I'll be a little surprised if we don't see something like that on the new Eagles. And if we do see something like that, I'm going to be surprised if at least a few people don't like it. I think it's a good thing because it's going to help with security features, but the reason that I bring it up is that I've heard a few people mention that the Type 1 design Eagles might actually lose value once the Type 2 design is released. And this is a bit of a counter argument to that because whether you like the current design or whether you just don't like that new security feature, if it happens, there are going to be reasons why some people like the current design over the new one. These are just all things you should have in mind when you're out there shopping for that gold. All right, so I think that's going to do it today. Hope you're doing well. Hit the like button if any of this was interesting, and be sure to let me know in the comments what you're finding for deals, or if you're not finding any deals at all. Thanks again for watching. I always appreciate your time. Take care.